Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do, and let's talk about the fake stuff. We're still doing divisions. We've been throwing in some rankings. But crap, man, what's going on, big dog?
Just hanging out on the back porch Friday night. It's one of them Friday night episodes for us. You got a little drink in the hand. I got a little drink in the hand. We're just gonna have a good time talking to AFC East tonight. We got Chris in the building. What's up, Chris?
Not much. Just been working my ass off.
Hey, man, brother. Just rolled him up a little stanky and then hopped on the pod. That's just what the Chris Swizzy does. Hell, that's what I do most of the time. Not tonight though. But yeah, man. Listen, man, we just gonna hop right into business. And really, thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. 5-star review. The same old. Go add me on Twitter, Crew Matt Hamm. I need another follower. But if you do add me, then you can see a little bit of a little bit of our details on the episode or whatever. If you don't want to listen to the episode, hey, listen to it and let it download for your boy. But tonight, like the Craft Man said, AFC East. Real quick, any news? Friday night, I got a beer. Any news, Craft Man? Like anything interesting out there on them streets?
Shoot, nothing popping up at the top of my head. I mean, I guess we got to mention JJ McCarthy since we talked the Vikings on the last episode, and we dropped the episode a day before.
Yeah,
he got lost for the season, so it looks like it's Chris's boy Sam Darnold. He played with the Panthers, and Chris didn't have enough of Sam Darnold with the Panthers, so he went and got him in Dynasty. Said, I got to have this guy.
Man, if I knew what I knew, I would have told Chris to give me 2 seconds for Sam Darnold. That too late for all that shit now. Pissing me off. But yeah, JJ McCarthy. I call him Quad Jr. Quad Jr. out for the year. Motherfucker sitting out for a torn meniscus. I mean, good Lord. That's just I don't even know. I'm gonna be real. I was talking to my main source, Akil Galani. He was like, you can't compare meniscus tears to this and this and this. I'm like, man, a meniscus, man. When I was in high school and y'all was on my team, if y'all would have been like, Coach, I'm out for the year for a torn meniscus, I would have been like, he don't need to be on the team anyways, little pussy ass bitch.
Oh,
Sick of that shit, man. Some Kawhi Leonard shit. A torn meniscus? Fuck out of here, man. I ain't trying to call nobody out, but you can't sit in the pocket and throw a couple dump offs. I seen Matthew Stafford go out there with an ACL ripped in half before. Take that shit back up and went out there and did that thing. We talk about a torn meniscus. The dude's 21, 22 years old, man.
Matthew Stafford break his back and then just go out there and throw some passes. Won a game.
Shit don't make no sense, man.
You can't tell me Tom Brady played 20,000 years in the NFL, didn't have a torn meniscus.
It just drives me insane, man. I mean, I'm just kidding. It really don't drive me insane, but you telling me you out for the season for a torn meniscus, like, I might sit out a couple weeks or something like that. Put an ice bag on that hoe. I mean, come on, man. But don't make no sense.
As we sit here, sitting in a chair, speaking into a microphone.
The Vikings have had a fucking shit ton of injuries, though. Like, their fucking starting safety is done for the year. Their quarterback changes and shit like that. Fucking Addison getting locked up. Like, they been going through some shit. Hate to be a Vikings fan right now.
Yeah, we definitely. I mean, I was sitting here, me and Crab, we're gonna drop our wide receiver rankings on another episode. That man, Justin Jefferson, I just don't even know what to do with his ass almost. Old Sammy D out there. Makes me want to drop him all the way down, Crab. What you think?
Yeah, I really didn't look that much different in Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy throwing to Jefferson, but like we mentioned Addison, what do you have, like a sprained ankle? I mean, it's your risk goes up for a sprained ankle when you're drunk on the field because I sprain my ankle every time that I've tried to play basketball drunk. So, Jordan Addison might have just had him a few, went out there to practice, and
Man.
the injury risk goes up, man. We got to put that in like our ADP, but Jordan Addison, and then get like an emoji of like a Crown Royal beside him.
Oh, man, had to cart him off the field. Man had a sprained ankle. What are they doing over there in Minnesota, man? Man,
Did you hear about that Tyrone Tracy?
Tyrone Tracy airlifted his ass.
He flew a helicopter out there and he had a sprained ankle.
Oh, man, I cannot, bro. I cannot. They out there Paul Piercing the fuck out of shit these days, man. Man, motherfuckers don't play no games, man. I mean, they said, I heard everything. Aircast. Dude, they had to cart him off helicopter on the 50. Turns bad. The dude got a little bum ankle.
It wasn't even a high ankle sprain. It was a low ankle sprain, too.
Oh, man. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. Man, everybody, listen, man. If any new people listening tonight, they turned us off real quick. These insensitive motherfuckers, man. They show no empathy. Hi, man. We hopping on it, man. Man had enough, whatever, goofy talk. Let's get into business. We're doing AFC East. Oh, man. It goes Buffalo, New York, Miami, New England. Buffalo at plus 165. Next is New York Jets at plus 170. So a pick 'em pretty much between them two. Miami at plus 220, and then New England at plus 24. I told Crap Man, I said, I ain't seen one that low. I've been looking at them all. And I just think it's funny. Chris been hating on the Patriots, and then old Vegas is telling us that they're not shit. They're dog shit. They ain't they ain't nothing.
One day these people will start listening to what I got to say, bro.
Oh, man. That man Bill left them high and dry, man. Crash said it. What'd you say they look like, Crap Man?
They look like a high school team.
Man, shout out to the DC Crusaders, because that was the high school team I was used to seeing. Oh, man. All right, well, Buffalo, listen, Stephon Diggs out the building. They draft Keon Coleman. Khalil Shakir getting a little bit of hype this year. There's always going to be that little fan base out there going into year 2. Curtis Samuel in the building. I mean, look, I got Curtis Samuel in my home league, and, I always talk about I had to get nasty. And when I was getting nasty last year, I had to play Curtis Samuel. So when I heard he was going to the Bills, I was ecstatic. I was like, it can't get no better than that. An ad drop type of guy now on the Bills. Nobody, a rookie wide receiver up in there. So I guess really let's just start with Keon Coleman. Here's one thing I'll say about Keon Coleman. I liked him when we was doing rookie stuff, and we were talking about yada yada. Like, this guy is somebody you could get at the 204 or 205. Sure, the upside is there. There's really not that much competition up there. So if the dude's going to be good, you might as well go off with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I will sit here and admit that there's some upside to Keon Coleman. I don't want him this year. I don't even want to touch him. What do you say, Kraft Man?
Yeah, I really didn't even like Keon Coleman when we did our rookie stuff, but I told myself that I was gonna be high on whoever went to the Bills. And sometimes situation kind of trumps what you think about a player. You got to kind of change your attitude a little bit. But I'm still not. I still would rather take my chances with like Curtis Samuel. He's probably my number one, and then Khalil Shakir would probably be my second choice. If they were all at the same ADP, is what I'm saying. They're in different spots. Keon Coleman's probably the highest, but that's why I think he's probably the worst bet. Worst bet to make, but I'm not real high on either one of them. I like any of them.
Chris, you got anything to say about this weak ass wide receiving room?
I mean, it is weak, but somebody's gonna be getting targets. Somebody's gonna be popping off. I think what we have to approach here is which one of these receivers is gonna become Gabe Davis. And you can weed that player out. Like you can get rid of him, process of elimination, and be like, okay, I don't want to deal with that fucking headache.
Yeah.
I don't. I wouldn't want Keon Coleman this year. I actually don't mind the pick because he's a big receiver. I mean, Dalton Kincaid is going to be getting some targets. He's been looking good, especially taking over for Knox. So, I mean, I think that he'll be good in the red zone. I think he may score. I think his upside might be touchdowns. He's a big guy. They're going to be throwing the fade routes to him, to the sideline, back pylon, back shoulder. Like, they're going to be letting this dude climb the ladder to go grab it.
I'm looking at it right here.
Consistency, I don't think is there.
Yeah, I'm looking at best ball ADP. Keon Coleman going as wide receiver 45, and then you got Curtis Samuel, wide receiver 47, and Shakir, wide receiver 53. Now, those are all kind of clumped together. Talk about a receiving room that might be the lowest. You know, I always talk about the Packers and them guys being all lower. Man, these guys right here are about as cheap as you can get right here. I guess really go ahead,
the Broncos might have that too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, the difference between the best ball ADP and the regular ADP is Curtis Samuel's going first and Keon Coleman's going last. Curtis Samuel's at wide receiver 42, and then Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman are back to back at 54 and 55. So the best ball community just wants to take the shot at the rookie, but as far as like redraft goes, I mean, the values are. You might as well take a shot with one of these guys. I was just saying, like, I don't know which one to predict, but at that ADP, it's not a bad bet to take a shot on a high-powered offense to see which one pans out, like Chris said, with the receiver room anyway.
Yeah. Well, the truth of it all is even though that wide receiving room is weak, they got Dalton Kincaid in the building. Going into year 2, I'm pretty high on Dalton Kincaid. I know redraft people are high on Dalton Kincaid, and of course, best ball. I bunch Dalton Kincaid in that little group of 5 tight ends. Some people say group of 6. Some people say group of 7. Like a group of 5 tight ends right there. And Dalton Kincaid is really the cheapest of those 5 most of the time for what I see. So I like Dalton Kincaid, but I personally, just talking Kincaid, I just think he's going to go off. Period. I think this is gonna be his little breakout year. I ain't got nothing against Dalton Kincaid. Heck, I want him. I ain't getting him. But I ain't got no bad things to say about Kincaid, Craft man.
I've been trying to take him about every time. It's either Kincaid or whichever tight end falls, Andrews or McBride, whoever somebody is passing on. I mean, Kincaid's going to be extremely involved, and that's why I said I don't like the receivers as much, because I think James Cook and Kincaid are going to be the main beneficiaries of Diggs and Gabe Davis leaving. And I think the receivers are just going to kind of have good games every now and again and feed off one another. But I think out of all the receivers, Curtis Samuel will probably get the most targets. But I think Kincaid may lead the team in receptions, targets and receptions.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like they're trying to, they're already making a switch up on the formula. They got rid of Diggs and they switched it up last year and won a lot of games with Diggs doing minimum. You know what I'm saying? They're running the ball more. I think now you just, like you said, James Cook and Kincaid, that's the way to roll. A lot of people like Ray Davis around the goal line. I'm not really into that, but some people are. There's always that little group out there. But, running back wise, James Cook going into year 3, right? This is year 3 we're seeing? Or are we already at 4? Okay, so
year 3.
He got that second round draft capital. I could see James Cook having a great year. I could see him getting I think he's just going to be a workhorse back, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see Ray Davis. Who else they got in the backfield anymore? I mean, they still got those sorry backups. I mean, we're looking at a guy who could be like the Pacheco. Kincaid's going to be like the Travis Kelce. And they got Josh Allen. That's kind of like what I kind of see happening.
Yeah, I'm super high on James Cook. I got him from Chris in the Dynasty League. He's going as RB14 this season, but he finished as RB11 last season. And he only had 2 rushing touchdowns last year. I think he was 2nd or 3rd in the NFL in all-purpose yards. Crazy good efficiency. I mean, he's an all-around good running back for a good team that I want a piece of. And the coach has even said a lot of things about using him in a short yardage role. He pretty much said, it doesn't matter what his size is. If you're a good running back and you can, see the holes, you can benefit in a short yardage role. So I think James Cook might surprise with his touchdowns on the ground this year. It ain't going to be super high because Josh Allen's going to steal a lot still. Josh Allen will probably have 10 to 15 rushing touchdowns again. But if you can get James Cook up to like six rushing touchdowns instead of 2, you might be looking at like a top 10 RB easily.
Yeah. Man, look at Chris's stoned ass right there. Chris, what did you sell James Cook for? I don't even remember that. A first?
I drafted Jonathan Brooks.
Oh,
The
nice.
pick I got.
It was a 110, I think, at the time. It was a 110 for Cook, I think.
Yeah.
And I sold Rashee Rice for the 110. So I technically sold Rashee Rice for James Cook.
Okay.
I did think about it just because, I think James Cook's going to have a good year. They get rid of Diggs. And I think they're going to be dumping the ball off to him. They're going to be designing screens for this man. And I completely agree with what the coach is saying about, fuck all that power back, elusive back bullshit. No. If they're a good running back, they going to find space.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain situations where you may want Derrick Henry back there to just plow up the middle of the field. But, fuck, you give me a James Cook or a Travis Etienne, and I will pick them over the Derrick Henry most of the time.
Yeah. James Cook's a little undersized. He's 190 pounds. Kyron is at 200. Jahmyr Gibbs is at 200. I think that the best case, what you would want as a fantasy manager is for somebody to come in and just kind of spell him a little bit. Just get him off the field every now and again just so he doesn't have to handle that 3-down workload all the time.
Anything y'all want to add to the Buffalo Bills before I slide over?
Is any of y'all down on Josh Allen because of the receivers? I know we hadn't done our QB rankings, but I'll just tell you, I got Mahomes at number 1. Is Josh Allen y'all's number 1 still? Are y'all worried about it at all?
I still kind of got it at 1A, 1B, but I do kind of have Patrick ahead just because of this situation. But I think Josh Allen's probably going to have more rushing touchdowns than normal. He may try to do a lot himself this year, and that might maybe help him keep that number 1.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm with you. I'm still got him at 1 myself. Pat's going to have a good year, though.
Yeah, just looking at his game log from last year, Joe Brady took over. I'm not sure exactly what week, but he was about the same from the first half of the year in the second half of the year. He had a couple big games. I think he was a little better at the start, from week 1 to week 9, and then he was just really solid from week 9 on, but not as many 40-point, 30-point games as he was at the beginning. So I still think you got a massive, probably the best floor you're going to have at quarterback, but maybe his ceiling comes down a little bit. Maybe them 40-point games end up being, 28-point games, 30-point games.
Yeah. Me personally, when it comes to redraft, I never am getting Josh Allen. So those kind of decisions really don't even weigh on me like that, Craft Man. What's he going, second round?
Yeah, his ADP is 22, so the back of the second, what would that be, the 210?
Yeah.
Got to get him right at the turn out there, and man, there's way too many good running backs and receivers at that area for me to try and do that.
Well, we got New York Jets. I said that it was pretty much a pick 'em. They're at plus 170. So that people are really thinking, or at least Vegas really believes that New York Jets are going to be competing for the division. I guess I'm not really that high on the Jets, but I guess there is a path. And I guess they're counting that Buffalo maybe will decline a little bit. You lost your best receiver and all that good stuff, but Jets at plus 170. We got Garrett Wilson. We got Mike Williams, my guy Mike Williams from the wide receiver. Let's go.
He'll play 5 games this year.
He'll be gone. He'll be gone real quick. Man, who else have they got? Malachi Corley. No, I'm missing some, Kraft, man. There's got to be more wide receivers than that. Is that it?
I think you're pretty much hitting on them. I'm blanking on the I'm blanking on the guy from last year that they had returned the kickoff in that first game to beat the Bills. But golly, I can't remember his name. Y'all just keep on talking. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, look, I think Garrett Wilson. Listen, I got Garrett Wilson ranked pretty high in redraft rankings. You know, he really doesn't have that much competition. Like, I think Mike Williams is okay. I mean, he's good when he plays, but the thing is, he's probably not going to play that much. I mean, does he make it 17 games? Highly doubt it. Does he make it 12 games? Maybe. I don't know. He's just going to be hurt. Mike Williams is definitely one of them players where I was like, okay, if he's my, fifth, sixth receiver and I got to play him this week, that's where I feel about him. You know me, I love me some Clemson wide receivers and stuff like that, but that dude is unreliable as hell. There ain't no way I'd be wanting that dude. But Garrett Wilson, I mean, the upside for Garrett Wilson, we talk about it all the time. Everybody wants to group him up there and put him up there with these guys and this guy and that guy, and well, let's just see it. I mean, it ain't all his fault. He's been playing with Zach Wilson and that shitty-ass team. So we're about to see. I think dynasty-wise, he could go off and literally be as high as number 5 when we do a dynasty ranking after next year. He don't do it this year, and Aaron Rodgers makes it a whole year. It's time to start treating this motherfucker like he's Drake London, because don't nobody like Drake London, but loves Garrett Wilson, and he's attached to Aaron Rodgers, who was trash his last full season with the Packers.
No, he wasn't trash.
And what was they saying? Oh, he ain't got nobody. He ain't got. Now Jordan loves with these guys, and they're like, "Whoa, man, the Packers are loaded, bro." Like they got Romeo Dubs and Christian Watson and all them. Like had those same guys. So Aaron Rodgers, I just think the decline was there. Period. So I wasn't expecting much from the Jets last year. Now he's got a torn Achilles. He went to the dark room, ate a few mushrooms. Now I'm supposed to think, oh, he's better. I don't know about all that.
So, you don't think the Jets going to the Super Bowl? I don't guess.
Man, hell no. They're not even winning the division. They third. They might not even finish second in the division.
Oh man, I'm somewhat with you on that. Like, I do think Aaron Rodgers coming off the Achilles is. I'm not targeting him at all in fantasy because I think the defense is good. He's going to be asked to be like I would say a game manager, but a level up from that because it's Aaron Rodgers. But Garrett Wilson, we just talked about the receivers. Y'all just talked about Mike Williams, and y'all were like, "Who's the other one? Who's the other?" I mean, that's how bad the receiver room is. And Xavier Gibson was the guy I was thinking about, Malachi Corley. But
yeah, I remember.
That just tells me that Garrett Wilson's going to go the fuck off. I'm all in on Garrett Wilson. I think he deserves to be drafted in the first round in redraft. I mean, if you want to take him right there with Jahmyr Gibbs, that's the conversation that I have with myself when I'm in the back. It's like, do I want Garrett Wilson or do I want Jahmyr Gibbs? Because I think that the way that this offense is going to run is going to be through Garrett Wilson. And Aaron Rodgers has always just peppered his main guy with targets. And personally, I love Garrett Wilson. I think he's incredibly talented when you watch him play. He moves different than a lot of other receivers, and he's one of them guys that I love that you can move inside and out. You can put him in the slot. You can put him outside, and he's going to win. But it all comes down to what you think about Aaron Rodgers' health, because the comparison that I made was Chris Olave last season. He finishes like the wide receiver 14. This was with Derek Carr. If Aaron Rodgers is that bad, like at his worst, he's Derek Carr. Garrett Wilson should at least finish at wide receiver 14, right? That should be his floor.
Yeah.
So if wide receiver 14 is his floor, I think wide receiver 3 or 4 should be his ceiling. So I think Garrett Wilson is going to be a great pick as long as you believe Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. What do you think, Chris?
I mean, I think that Aaron Rodgers better stay healthy through this. I mean, I don't even know off the top of my head who's the backup.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I'm about to say they switched it up, man. Yeah.
They should have done better. If Jameis was their backup, man, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, "Where's Jameis at?" Because Jameis, man, I would like him to be the big, because shit, he'll throw the ball. He'll
He's
get out there
backing
and
up
just
your boy
air it up.
Deshaun.
Oh yeah. Hell, he
Yeah.
might be starting here soon.
Amari Cooper should be rostered this season.
Hey,
Oh man,
had Amari Cooper been traded to the San Fran though, oh bro, his fucking
I'd have been
his
like,
draft
ooh.
would have went through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Like I would
think
be
it'd
taking
stay the
Amari
same.
Cooper pretty high.
I don't know. I feel like it had to go with some.
Amari Cooper was wide receiver 10 last season. That was better than Brandon Ayuk.
Really, because of one game though.
Yeah, I mean, it was because of one game, but
I'm always pointing out that one game, like, nah, take that shit out.
Yeah.
No,
I
nah.
agree.
Fuck you, Joe Mixon. You were playing the Panthers.
I only bring it up
Yeah, hell no.
when it's against my argument. Like if
Uh,
it's with my argument, I'm not bringing it up. I'll be like, man, only the greats can score 51 in a game. But if I'm against it, I'm like, it was all in one game, though.
yeah, all right. Well, we got Brees Hall in the backfield. Bad man. Me and Craftman had him at running back 2 in Dynasty, I believe. I know I got him at 2. You got him at 2, right?
Yeah, he's a 2.
Oh, no. Is that right, Craftman? I might
He's
have
number 1 in Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, I got him at 1 in Dynasty.
Yeah, 1 in Dynasty, 2 in Redraft. That's where I got him. Getting them all my rankings mixed up. Yeah. Brees Hall, I just made a trade for him. A big blockbuster trade in my league. Had to go get my guy. I love me some Brees Hall now. Nah, I'm just kidding. I've
Now.
always loved Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall. Listen, we saw him finish as what was it? He was like running back 2 for the longest, but I think he actually finished at 4. Craftman, something around there.
Let me find out. He was wide receiver 4.5, wide receiver 2 in PPR.
So I think he'll go off with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he always liked to dump it off to Aaron Jones back in the day. He'll still get some dump offs to Brees Hall, but I think you had brought it up on some episode. Our running back episode, and talk about there'll be a few less dump offs. My thing is I agree. The truth is Brees Hall was the running back 2 in PPR and 4.5 PPR, and that offense was pathetic, straight pathetic. So you got to be high on Brees Hall no matter what. Yeah, I mean, I'd be high on Brees Hall even if Aaron Rodgers went down. You know what I'm saying? Because we already kind of seen it. Tyrod Taylor could probably get, move the ball a little bit better than what Zach Wilson was doing if all else fails. I'm high as can be on Brees Hall, obviously. I brought it up on the running back episode. If you want to pick Bijan before Brees Hall, can't be mad at you, not one bit. Real quick before I pass it on, Braylon Allen looks like he's sealed up the 2 spot. The Jets have been looking for a little backup. They kept on drafting these little running backs like Izzy, Abanikanda. All them guys are irrelevant now, it looks like. So running back room seems stable now.
Yeah, I think the running back room is really nice, but I do think Brees's receptions will come down a little. He had 78 receptions last season. That's a shit ton. But I went back and looked at Aaron Jones with Aaron Rodgers reception totals because Aaron Jones is a good receiving back, and just trying to figure out like what Brees Hall what's the possible receiving game going to look like for him. And Aaron Jones his last year with Aaron Rodgers, he had 59 receptions. The year before, 52 receptions. So I think Brees could still get in that 50 range plus, what did we mention on the last episode with running backs? He had 1 carry within the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And Raheem Mostert had 20.
Yeah.
He had 1 carry. He had 1 carry inside the 5 last season. And he finished as an RB2.
Yeah.
So it's just straight uphill. It can't get it can't get no worse than it was last year, and he still performed. So this year, I mean, could be an RB1.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Could be. There's about 2 or 3 guys I'd put in that range, and Brees is definitely one of them. Tight end wise is what Tyler Conklin.
Could be
real
fun.
deep. Yeah, real deep down there. If you want to get you a little patch 'em up tight end. Chris, you got anything? Well, here before I pass it to Chris, I agree with one thing. I don't really like people like Aaron Rodgers as a fantasy asset like that because, and put the aside that I think he's declined, but you're right. The formula for New York Jets, it's going to be cold. Their defense is going to be stout. They're going to grind it out. It's going to be a little bit, it's going to be a better grinded out. It ain't going to be like, the Raiders grinded it out. It's going to be like, you at least got Aaron Rodgers back out there. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a grind amount, and I think fantasy points, Garrett Wilson, Brees, those are you guys you want. Chris, what say you on these bum ass motherfuckers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Like, I think it'll be Garrett. You're not gonna want the quarterback on this team. I would just take the Garrett Wilson and then just take Brees. And like you said, I mean, like Tyler Conklin, like if you have a week or like a tight end gets hurt, you may be able to stream him, or in your your FanDuels and whatnot, you can go and maybe throw Tyler Conklin in there as a cheap option to kind of fill a spot if you want to go like RB heavy or wide receiver heavy. Otherwise, like they said, it's cold as fuck up there. They're gonna be playing. They're gonna be playing in the snow. I know, and Aaron Rodgers is used to it. I mean, he is used to doing that, and he'd be airing the fuck out of that ball. But Green Bay is not the New York Jets. They have way too good of a fucking defense. Lockdown corners. They have what's considered like behind Christian McCaffrey, the second best running back.
Yeah.
And they're going to be giving him the ball. And whenever the ball's going to be flying through the air, it's probably going to be Garrett Wilson or Conklin. Like I said, the other dude's names, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah. Chris bringing out that DFS talk.
I like it too. I like Conklin in DFS because I think he'll be involved. Conklin's got a crazy statistic where he's had 87 targets, exactly 87 targets 3 years in a row. And I mean, that's pretty consistent if you ask me. But I could see them targets going up. Maybe 100 targets.
I would think that DFS tight ends, and I know last year I said this and I was so wrong, but Hayden Hurst when he was with Carolina, we just sucked. But this dude's playing for the Chargers now. Like he's a starting tight end for the Chargers. Like it's either I would throw him out there. Shit. Quentin Johnson on the bench.
Don't they have Donald Parham too, though?
They do have Parham, but
he went off that week 1 last year or something like that.
I just looked at whenever Hayden Hurst is on a team, like he gets the snaps just because they like to run. They're going to run the ball, so he's going to be out there. So he's going to be running these little play action routes and stuff like that.
Heck, all them guys.
And I'm just saying it's like DFS. I'm not, by no means am I saying, oh, draft this dude, fucking keep him on your team. No, if you were in a bad spot, I think that this may be able to help you if he's got a good matchup. DFS, you can just throw him in there. Like I said, if you want to go top heavy, you want to splurge on some other players, you probably get Hayden Hurst for fucking
They might not even charge you.
Yeah, I was about to say, they might just give him to you for free.
I might just say, Adam, right? You can have his ass. All right, man. Hey, Crap, man, anything you want to say about the Jets before I slide over?
Yeah, I got one thing to say about the Jets. They were 31st in the league last year in yards per game. I just wanted to ask Chris who he thought number 32 was, who was dead last. I remember Trevor Siemian and the Jets being terrible. God, they were hard to watch. But they were 31. There was another team even worse.
Wait, hold on. I wasn't paying attention.
Who do you think
talking
it was,
about the Panthers?
It was the Panthers at number 32 with Bryce Young and them boys. But we can move on. I just wanted to throw that shit in Chris' face right quick.
Oh,
well, hey, Bilo on the Panthers. What did you say, Bryce Young or Drake May the other day? That man Chris said, Bryce Young, it ain't even close. We're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that because it is not close. It's not close at all.
All right, well, before we get into that, let's move on to Miami. The most exciting offense of this division right here. We got Tua Tagovailoa just got paid. Jalen Waddle, I think he got his, 5th year? They picked up his 5th year or something like that.
No, they paid him.
They paid him?
Yeah, he got a contract.
All right, well, Waddle got a contract, and Tyreek, they just gave him more money, I think. I don't think they added any years or anything.
Yeah, they were just like, here's $60 million. Go have a good offseason.
Here you go, buddy. This is going to, we need to help you out with your child support. And they're like, here's 60 mil. 50 of us going to the ladies. All right, so here we go. We got like I said, too, and we got the high flying offense, Mike McDonald, they doing their thing. Wide receiving wise, I think, Waddle, I've been pretty much, when we was doing best ball, I pretty much been smacking on some Waddle all day in like the early third. Like, if he's there, I'm getting him. And I'm pretty high on Waddle. And heck, of course, I'm high on Tyreek Hill. I put him in, I got him and CD, 1A, 1B, right up there with each other, stacked. Tua, gonna go off at least in the first half of the year. Let's just see if he can put it together for a whole year. It starts cooling down and stuff. He don't like to do as good, but Tua finally got paid. I think it was deservingly so. You know what? I always take these quarterbacks that people are like, I wouldn't pay. Like, dude, you gotta pay these quarterbacks. Like, it's hard to get these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to just say, oh, we'll get one in the draft, and then go get one in the draft, and it actually pan out. Although it does look like the Vikings was almost about to do that shit, maybe. But yeah, I'm high on the offense. What say you, Crap Man?
Tua got paid, and Waddle signed through 2028, so he got a 3-year deal. But you might as well call this a Jalen Waddle podcast because me and you were both super high on Waddle. I got him as my wide receiver 12 right now, and in ADP he's going to, where's he at? Shit, I can't find his ass. He's around here somewhere. Oh, wide receiver 18.
Yeah. I want to pull that up because the reason why I've been sitting here smacking on Jalen Waddle, because look who he's going around. He's going around. Well, all right, hold on. This is best ball, Crap Man, so obviously it's going to be a little bit different. He's going as the wide receiver 13 in best ball, which is, he's been soaring up, probably because of me. I've been getting on there. He's probably just going up because of me, but he's over there with Nico. I've been saying I love Nico, but I've been saying I think his ceiling's a little capped. He's going around Chris Olave. His ceiling's obviously capped. Yeah, but Cooper Kupp, I like Cooper Kupp, but then you got Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors. He's up in there. Brandon Ayuk or Waddle?
Waddle. He's going around DJ Moore. It's definitely Waddle for me.
I'm taking Waddle over a lot of guys, Crap Man. Chris, what say you? DJ Moore or Waddle? I know you like DJ Moore.
Well, you got to think about his receiver room too, though. Like, the Bears got a lot of mouths to feed now. I know that Miami's got Tyreek, but
there's plenty to spread around with Mike McDaniel out there.
Yeah,
they all gonna eat. So
I'd take Waddle.
Yeah. Well, heck, we all high on Waddle. We got to touch on Tyreek though a little bit. He's going. He's not leaving the top 3 in your redraft leagues. He's going 1, 2, or 3 depending on who's in your league. I'm down here. We got Cowboys fans down here, even in Georgia. So CD, he'll definitely go ahead of Tyreek. CMC should go ahead of Tyreek, in my opinion. And then you got Tyreek, and then there's a little tier break right there between Tyreek and whoever you want to take it to 4. So, not really worried about him dynasty-wise either. I've always said, whenever he said he was going to retire, I don't even know if that'll happen. I kind of doubt it. So, I wouldn't be worried about it. And if the owner is worried about it, go buy him if you can, and then go win you some championships.
He may have to keep playing. He's going to be owing a fortune in child support. Did y'all see that thing I sent? I know I didn't send it to Austin. It was like an AI voiceover of Mike McDaniels talking, and he was like, yeah, man, like, you got to think about this man, Tyreek. He's got 10,000 all-purpose yards, but he's averaged about a child every 800. he said he's a damn good receiver, but we got to work on his pull-out game. That's what we're focusing on. And I was just laughing, and it was AI doing it, but it sounds like something McDaniel would say, because that dude's awkward, man.
You imagine all the Tyreek's kids just like in elementary school with all the other little kids, like just running circles around their ass, just like Red Rover and shit. That motherfucker just flying all over.
Man, golly, man. Yeah, this podcast might have got a little unhinged tonight. Don't y'all think so?
We ain't talking about
he said he's fast as a cheetah, but he fucks like a rabbit.
I mean, there ain't
I
nothing
was
to talk about
dying.
with Tyreek Hill except for this stuff. He's the best receiver in NFL. Him and
Yep.
you know you're gonna take him either at number 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
I mean, there's not much to say. He was on pace for 2,000 yards last season. I mean,
That's
what else?
insane.
What else you got to say?
Yeah.
And I really think Tua. I think he's got some positive touchdown regression coming. He only threw for 29 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert ran for 18,
A bunch.
and A-Chain had a lot. So I could see the touchdowns coming up. That's why I like Waddle. Waddle only had 4 receiving touchdowns last year. I think they can come up.
Right.
So that there just ain't much to say about Tyreek for sure.
Yeah. Let's slide over to that running back room. Got Chris's boy Devon A-Chain. We got Raheem Mostert, who was just balling out last year, even though he was old, 31, 32. And then you got Jalen Wright over there. You know, I tapped on his little thing in best ball a couple times because this is my honest opinion, crap, man, with them running backs. They're all fast and they're all pretty good. So I think they'll probably, literally, every single one of them is going to have a good game here and there. Obviously, A-Chain, I said what I said about A-Chain. I like having A-Chain on my team. I like to have A-Chain as my RB2, you know what I'm saying? Because his ceiling is so out of this world.
Massive.
But then you never know. He might not. Who knows what Mike McDaniel's going to do? Raheem Mostert might go out there and get him 20 carries, and he might just pop off for big ones, and they're going to ride Raheem Mostert that game. With that said, I think that's fine for A-Chain, especially dynasty-wise, because a little small guy, a little tiny guy out there, if he was the workhorse, he'd be getting banged up. As efficient as he is, I'm not scared of taking Devon A-Chain at all. Now, I don't know if I really want him as my RB1. Maybe in some best ball builds. But Chris loves him some A-Chain.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep him as an RB2, just because I don't think that Mostert's going to make it through this season without getting hurt. Just because before last year, the dude was hurt.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's name was Most Hurt. That was his fucking name. Dude's hurt. He's like Christian McCaffrey. Motherfucker's always hurt. But, I mean, and then he exploded. And then Mike McDaniels, he runs these fucking crazy ass plays because he can send Tyreek on end rounds and then all these fake handoffs and pitches and stuff like that. And that benefits players like Raheem Mostert, Devon A-Chain, right? You see who they draft. They draft speed over everything. Their whole team is they probably got the fastest team in the NFL. I mean, they had it just with Tyreek, but I mean, fuck, Jalen Waddle's fast, Devon A-Chain, Raheem Mostert's fast too.
Malik Washington, flying. What do they do? Oh, he's fast. Give him to me.
Yep.
I got me and Kraft both got a piece of Malik Washington. I done seen it. I looked at my taxi. I looked at Kraft. We both got his ass. I think, hey, they said he's been doing some good things in camp. I mean, obviously, it's a stacked wide receiving room, you know. But still, Malik Washington, if you want a little stash, you can slide him into your taxi. You never know what'll happen. Jalen Wright. Listen, I think Jalen Wright's going to be pretty solid. I watched whatever clip it was, him scoring a little touchdown. I know it was just like a little goal line touchdown, but they did say, this dude probably going to struggle in between the tackles. And I don't know how big he is, but he kind of looked like he might not struggle that much in between the tackles. I mean, I know it was just a preseason one play. Probably the 6th string was out there, but it's like, I don't know. I can see Jalen Wright going out there doing his thing. You know, obviously there's going to be 2 guys ahead of him, but I'm just saying, you never know. McDaniel.
You gotta have an injury.
Right. I mean, Chris just said Mostert ain't going to make it this year. The A-Chain was hurt last year, so, you know, it's going to be a little 3-headed thing a little bit. Somewhat. So I kind of like Jalen Wright. I don't mind, you know, some best ball dynasty. Put him in your taxi. You know, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh man, I'm high on Jalen Wright, bro. But I just think he'll be solid, and I will always want a piece of the offense.
I think Mostert, in my opinion, is one of the best picks in your draft that you could possibly even pick. I mean, he's going as the RB26 in like the 7th or 8th round, and the guy finished just like the RB2 or 3. I mean, you can still be high on A-Chan, and you can still be high on Mostert, because I look at it as like it's the same thing as the David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs backfield. It's the exact same thing. Yeah. Mostert gets the goal line work, I mean, they're David Montgomery and Mostert are different backs. I'm not saying they're the same, but they're used in the same role, which is around the goal line, and they're still going to catch a couple passes a game, and have 50 to 80 rushing yards a game. So David Montgomery's going way ahead of Raheem Mostert, and that shouldn't be the case. I think they should be talked about in the same light. I think it's just because Mostert's older, and he's a little bit more fragile. But as far as Achane goes, you're just going to have to take that risk, because I do think that if he does stay healthy, we're going to come back next year and be like, it was so fucking obvious. Like, he finishes RB4. It was so obvious. That offense is great. They can run the ball like crazy. They averaged the most yards per carry last year, number 1 in the NFL. And Achane's just one more year into the system, so he should be great. But he's just a little lighter. I just look at that situation the same as I do Detroit. They're the exact same situation, except for Achane's about 20 pounds lighter than Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, the truth is we all want a piece of Miami's offense for fantasy football. That's just the truth. Anything else y'all want to add? Listen, I'm not a Tua hater, so I like Tua, and I was saying before he got paid, when there was all these contracts out, there's a little window to buy low on Tua if you really want him. Too late now, obviously, but if you had Tua, then you feel great that it's he's secure.
Yeah. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the same tier that you can choose any one of them, and it doesn't really matter. So it's like Tua, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, them 3 guys. And it's really like pick your poison. Which one do you want? And I don't blame anybody for picking any of them over the other. I feel like they're all going to finish around the same. Tua was QB9 last year, so he was a QB5 for the first half of the season. But they're all around that same tier.
Anything else we want to add to the Dolphins before we slide it over to Chris's favorite team?
I'll say with the Dolphins, when you mention them odds, that's definitely the bet I'm making.
Yeah, that would be the bet I'd make. I don't know if I don't know what. I don't know how confident I would be in that bet. I mean, I feel like them 3 are kind of up in the air. I mean, the Jets could still go win the division. I feel least confident about them. Obviously, we're not even going to include the Patriots. We're going to act like it's a 3-team division. There's just one little team in there they let in for fun, a little play.
Participation trophy at the end of the season.
So here we go. We talking about the New England Patriots. Bill, bum ass, gone. And listen, he held them back, because here we are looking at this roster now, looking at it like, oh Lord, like this roster's pretty bad, man. All they got is some rookies up in there. Drafted Chris's guy Drake May. Went and got Jalen Polk, my best ball, my highest exposure craft, man. Jalen Polk. Not to say I'm even a Jalen Polk guy. Just, trying to win some money. And then they got Javon Baker and a little clusterfuck of all these little mid-level wide receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster, gone. He was a bum. They just released him. They was just like, hey, like, get out of the facility. We cannot use you.
We got KJ Osborne now. You can leave.
Who's Demario Douglas? They got Demario Douglas.
Oh, Pop Douglas. Yep.
I like him. He's just on the wrong team, man.
Yeah. So, like this team right here. Let's just be honest. And Kraft, you said it best. They'll probably be. You were talking about them and the Broncos down there with the doo-doo. That's just down there at the bottom of the bottom. Probably picking the top 2, 3 next year, something like that. I mean, is there any chance they surprise you, Kraft man, and they make it tough and they give it their all, and they, they make it tough for these teams?
I think they're gonna be absolute shit. I mean, I have changed my mind a little bit on them, like for the worse. I was kind of like, maybe their defense can, keep them in games, and then bam, Matthew Judon traded to the Falcons. All right, he's their best defensive player. It's not like the Jets last year where their defense was that good, where they could just keep them in games. Jacoby Brissett, when he played pretty well, it was with the Browns, who had like the number 1 rated offensive line. You had Nick Chubb back there. You had Amari Cooper. The Browns were much better. And you got Jacoby Brissett starting this year. None of their receivers can separate. Your number 1 receiver might be KJ Osborne, who was the number 3 receiver for the Vikings. And that might be your number 1 guy. And you got Demario Douglas out there, which I like, but they're going to try to be run heavy and run a zone run heavy scheme. And he's the smallest guy on the field. I don't even know how much he's going to be on the field because he can't block because he's so small. So it's Ramondre. And I'm out on Ramondre, so he's really the only player in redraft that, I could see voluming his way into relevancy. But I still think that their offense is going to be so bad that the running back position isn't going to work out, because when you're playing from behind that much, Antonio Gibson's probably going to get in the game a lot more than you want to see. But Ramondre is probably the most polarizing player on the team. Some people are high, some people are low. I'm one of the low guys. And what do you think, Chris?
Well,
my bad, Matt.
First of all, Bill left, and he left this organization in a clusterfuck. This roster is fucking terrible. Is awful. And if you play in a league that has defenses, I know a lot of people phase them out. We're in one that has them. In the process of maybe phasing it out. Do you want to stream a team or anything like that? If they're playing the Patriots, throw that motherfucker in there. I don't care who it is. Throw it in there. Throw it in there. They're going to have a top 1 to 3 pick next year, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to replace that bum-ass motherfucker that they took in the first round this year, and then they're going to realize that, man, we shouldn't have picked this dude. Why were we even thinking that this dude was a top draft pick? There was points where they were talking about Drake May was better than Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Why you got a problem with that?
That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. That's look, I would take Penix over Drake May. 100%. It'd be no question. No
Where
question.
Where did Drake May go in our rookie draft, just to point this out?
Hold on. He went at like...
Matt took him at the 106, something like that.
And y'all hated on Noah for sending a second and a late first for Michael Penix.
Whoa, not me. I did, but hold on. I ain't all the way in with Chris like that. I think the Patriots, if they could turn it around, they got Drake May and they could do it. And Bill's gone, so the offense ain't being held back.
Man, they thought that they had Drake May, but then 2 rounds later they picked another person. To me, this tells me that they don't really fucking know like what's going on out here. I don't think the kid's that good. I don't think that he's that good. I watched him in college. I don't think that it's there. He's not. Now, if he blossoms, I'll say this: if he becomes good, it's gonna take 2-3 years for him to come out.
That's the only statement that I agree with Chris right there. Like, they're going to be so bad this year. But I was just saying, Drake May, like, they could turn around with this guy if they really build around it and do it. But you're right. They're going to be picking in the top 3 next year. They go, they go Sam Darnold his ass and get rid of Drake May like that. And go get him some, I don't really think that'll happen. But, they might want what's his name? Shandor Sanders or something like that. Might go get him. Come turn it around for them. I just think they could turn it around eventually. Obviously, next year, it ain't happening. They're going to be bad.
I know as an organization, they can turn it around because they're going to be so bad for these next few years. I mean, we see players like Drake May and all these, like we see these kind of quarterbacks that are picked real high, and then 2 years down the road, they're not worth anything. Sam Darnold, for one, the 3rd overall pick. What has he done? He's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. I mean, shit, he's starting now. I mean, I don't fucking know, but there's been so many of these players that are like, oh, Sam Bradford, players like that. Oh man, they're supposed to be so fucking good. Oh, they're so good. And I never thought any of them dudes was good. They all look like shit in college. They just overhyped them because they were playing these shitty ass defenses and shit. Drake May played in the SEC. Oh, the defenses are really good. Oh, they can't stop the fucking pass, so he looks really good when he's airing it down the field and shit. Right. No.
But that man played in the ACC.
Yeah.
Well, not the SEC, the ACC. You know,
Well, I'm just.
and
Well,
I-
you know how I feel about that. Like the SEC ain't really dishing out quarterbacks. At least the ACC will. You know what I'm saying?
but I mean,
I,
I don't know. I don't think he's good. I don't think. I think maybe like if you're gonna take him, you kind of had to take him in a super flex early, right? Because he was gonna come off the board. Like if you needed a quarterback, and the other options like Jaden Daniels, and then you had Caleb Williams, they're gonna be off the board. So you take Drake May. With what I would have ended up taking McCarthy instead of Drake May, but that would have turned out bad because McCarthy's now done for the year. But honestly, I would rather fucking sit on McCarthy and throw him in my taxi or the injured reserve and then wait it out till next year than have to sit with that fucking trash ass bitch on my team, dude.
Hey, just put it in perspective. I literally am doing what Chris is sitting here saying you could do. I got Drake May, and hell, I ain't even had him for half a second. I'd have traded him for a first and Derek Carr, and then I got JJ McCarthy sitting in my taxi. Exactly what Chris, or not my taxi, but IR now. So with a meniscus of all things.
The only player I think I would want on this team is, I mean, I would, like, if you can take a late flyer on, like, Jalen Polk or something like that might be good to throw, like, in your taxi or something, see what happens. Because, I mean, this wide receiver room is a clusterfuck. They're going to be bad. It's going to be awful. It is going to be terrible.
They're going to be playing from behind a lot, so a lot of passing. I mean,
a lot of Drake May interceptions.
I can see where Chris is coming from. He's got a guy that he doesn't like, and then he went to the worst team that he could have possibly gone to. So, I mean, we didn't really like JJ McCarthy that much. If JJ McCarthy would have went to the Panthers, we would be like Chris is right now, just bam, just all over it.
I don't know. I disagree because if we would have took C.J. Stroud, I think we would have been like, we wouldn't have been like good, but we wouldn't have been like the last. Like we would have been a lot better than last year.
But just look at it from like a Bryce Young perspective with Drake May. Where was Bryce Young ranked in startup drafts last year? He's probably like the QB like 11 or something. Yeah, and now you look at him. Now you look at him. He's like the QB 25. Is Drake May? I mean, he could possibly just lose value like Bryce Young did, and then they could come in next year, draft a guy like Xavier Legette, think they're gonna fix their offense, and it might. I mean,
but isn't that a lot more
than one?
You know, like like throwing in the little jabs at Carolina and stuff there, but isn't New England doing the exact same thing?
Well, that's what I was saying. I wasn't throwing too many jabs at Carolina. I'm just saying, Drake May's value could drop as far as Bryce Young's did in one season because
I think it's already there.
For you.
I think that right now he is a QB 32. He's on the worst team in the NFL, dude. Like, I think this dude is going to be terrible. Bryce Young finishes ahead of Drake May this year. I take Bryce Young over Drake May every
lower down. Let's get somebody else. Who's lower than Bryce Young? Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold or Drake May?
I mean, we're talking dynasty or redraft?
Just redraft.
Is he starting? He's starting. He's got just pick Sam Darnold. If I could throw him in there, because if I take Sam Darnold, but look, there's a strategy with that though. If I'm taking Sam Darnold, I'm getting something else where I would be taking Drake May.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Drake May's going to go higher. All of this shit, this ADP, like them having Bryce Young at 11, then all of a sudden Drake May's up there and all. This shit is subjective. These people, dynasty people, get a hard on for fucking 21-year-olds coming into the league. Like, they love that shit. They love it. The thing is that most of these players are not ready to play in the NFL. Like, and they expect it to just turn into something immediately. And Dynasty, you got to play the long game, but if you're playing in a Superflex and you're taking Drake May and you got to wait 3 years before this dude even is worth the fuck, is it really worth it?
And that's where Dynasty gets out of control, because at the quarterback position, these guys can last till 35, 38 years old, and people are choosing, Bryce Young over Jared Goff and players.
You want Baker Mayfield or you want Drake May?
I want Baker.
I want Drake May Dynasty.
Oh, you
Ain't
man,
no way.
Crazy. Baker.
Man,
I'm
I can sell Drake May for way more than Baker.
I don't really think Sam Darnold's that good, but I think that he can end up having a decent year. Like I said in our little league, like when I got him, I was like, well, hell, I got me another like little low end QB too. Because I mean, is he going to be worse than Drake May? I doubt it.
That's the stupid thing about Dynasty too. Is like Drake May does have more value. Like you can trade him for more than Baker. So in that case, you might want to have Drake May on your team just so you can trade him. But if you have Drake May on your roster, are you really just going to sit there and watch the Patriots just suck every single year for 2 or 3 years? And then are you really going to have Drake May on your team in 3 years if they figure it out?
Is he your quarterback 4? I might well just sit him down, see what happens.
I mean, yeah, but like if you can shop him and get something that's gonna immediately help you, like maybe you could get a first that maybe turns out to be right around where you pick next year, and you can get another piece. Because like Matt's saying, if that's like your QB4, the fuck do you need him down there for? Get something for his ass. Because in 3 years, like you're gonna be looking at this, and the NFL's gonna be completely different in 3 years. I mean, shit gets moved around every season. We ain't gonna know where none of these motherfuckers are gonna be unless they got a long-term contract.
And I like Drake May, but as I said at the start of the episode, you have to change your opinions on the situation that they get drafted into. I mean, if he would have went to the Vikings, I mean, he would have skyrocketed up my QB rankings. But he's not. He's not with the Vikings. He's with the fucking Patriots.
And to be honest, like a lot of my Drake May hate. I mean, I don't really think that I think that he's a little overhyped and stuff like that. But had he gone to a better situation, that'd be a little different. Like if he goes to the Vikings and all of a sudden you got a quarterback with a strong arm that can just sling it to Justin Jefferson. I mean, then that's different. So that's different than him going out there and throwing it to KJ Osborne or to Mario Douglas. Like that's just, it is what it is. I don't want nobody on the Patriots offense. I'll take a late flyer on them rookies, throw them in my taxi and wait. But I ain't getting Drake May. I'm just going to sit him down. I'm going to worry about something else. If I drafted him, I'm selling him for what I can fucking sell him for and looking for something immediately.
Well, let's just talk real quick about Ramondre, because he is the only redraft option on this team, except for maybe Jalen Polt. Chris,
I don't even count Ramondre as an option. I don't even want to deal with it.
Did you take Ramondre or Devin Singletary?
Devin Singletary.
Jalen Warren.
Jalen Warren with Arthur Smith and all. Yeah, I'll take Jalen
Warren. Zach Moss or Chase Brown?
Yeah.
I like Zach Moss this year.
I mean, that's where he's going. He's going as the RB28 right now, and Zach Moss is RB29. Never mind. He's going as RB20. He's going as RB21. My bad. It went to like some weird settings, but RB21 going around Najee and David Montgomery. So that's not even close. That's even worse. No way I'd take him over Najee or David Montgomery.
I don't know, man. That's right. That's in the area for me. Man, Najee's ass. I don't care what anybody
I'd take Zamir White over him.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. We might be going a little too far. He's low, but is he that low? Zamir White?
I think I would take Zamir White over him.
Dang, did y'all see that? Did everybody pop up and pop back out?
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey, as long as Craig's
here. Because, you got to think, Zamir White only got Alexander Madison back there. And Zamir White, the Raiders going to be out there, like, grinding it out. They got a little Minshew mania over there.
They got a good defense.
They're going to be throwing the ball. Mode. They got a good defense. They got Crosby holding down the line. Like, they finally got rid of Derek Carr, sorry ass. He's about to get replaced. If you didn't know, I'd say a great waiver wire pickup to go throw in your taxi. Go grab you some Spencer Rattler and throw his ass down there, because Derek Carr ain't finishing this season as a starter.
He might not. That's why when David sent me Daniel Jones for Derek Carr, and I don't think either of them going to have a job, but I was like, at least Daniel Jones might run it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, the Saints are so screwed. Derek Carr's, I think next year, I could be wrong, it might be this year, next year, but he's owed $50 million. And if they cut his ass, his dead cap, they only save $1 million. if they cut him.
$50 million. That's ridiculous.
And they only save $1 million if they cut him. So they pretty much have to keep him.
Well, look, man,
on the roster anyway.
Ramondre, to me, he's just more of a dynasty play. He just got signed. So it's like, you guys don't know this, but I just went on my phone and I just had to resend a trade for Ramondre. Y'all had to get me out of that. I let that thing sit in there all day. I had to go take that thing out real quick.
What'd you send?
Just 2 seconds.
And I would like Ramondre if he was in a better, like another thing, like if he was in a better area, it'd be different. And I mean, but even when he was with Bill Belichick, I still didn't want him. But if he's in a better situation, stuff changes because I think he can catch the ball out the backfield and he could do that. And that might benefit Ramondre this year, but I would just take somebody else. I like to watch the players that I draft, and you ain't gonna catch your boy sitting down on Sunday and watching the Patriots. I'd rather fucking I don't know. I'd rather go stick my dick in an ant bed or some shit. Like I don't know, dude.
I just go to sleep that Sunday. Sleep during football today.
That's a good Sunday night game to go to sleep to right there for sure.
Man, if they on Sunday night, I'll just shoot myself, man. Good Lord.
You know when you look back on stuff and shit looks even more dumb, is Ramondre was going as like a top 10 back last year with the same offense with Mac Jones leading the way.
Oh, I know. Dunk was all about some Ramondre.
Some people were super high. I wasn't one of them, but
I was never one. I always said, even when he was with Bill, I was like, I ain't taking no Bill running back, and now this dude just turns out to be just. He's not, I
feel like he just got saved by giving him a 4-year deal. That's the only reason I'm disagreeing with y'all. Man,
did they get? I didn't look at that. He got a 4-year deal.
Something like that. 3, 4.
Jesus Christ!
He's secured. He's there. He's the only dynasty asset. Him and Jalen Pope.
I don't know. Drake May's got a job. I might need to go to the combine.
Between me and Matt and our RB rankings, Ramondre was one of our ones that we were way apart on this season. We were way apart last season. He's way different this year too.
Yeah, I think you got him at 19,
and I got Ramondre at 27.
I definitely got Ramondre over like backup running backs and shit. Najee, y'all out y'all's mind. He's in the same boat as Zamir White. If you like Zamir White, they're in the same thing. Terrible offenses and the workhorse for their team.
Oh, hold on now. When they get Brandon Ayuk, they're going to be contenders. What do you mean?
Shit, Brandon Ayuk.
He didn't want to go there.
I don't know what's going on with Brandon Ayuk.
They were going to pay him the bag, too. They said, here's a $30 million plus, too. And he was still like, I'm good.
Yeah. He didn't want to go to Cleveland either. Snubbed him. And they were offering him Amari Cooper and picks. Like, shit. And they were going to pay him.
I pretty much got Ramondre. I even got him ahead of Joe Mixon. Let's go,
that's
baby.
Just crazy.
That's absolutely
absurd.
Y'all are just out y'all's motherfucking mind being that low on a guy like that.
You cannot. There's no way you could have him under Joe Mixon. That's just
Joe Mixon
stupid.
Sucks. Motherfucker ain't shit.
Give me motherfucking J.K. Dobbins, bro.
Chris, Joe Mixon? Is that even close to you? Joe Mixon or Ramondre?
I'm taking Joe Mixon over Ramondre.
Like 4 rounds ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't even close.
I mean, what the hell's going around fucking Ramondre? I mean, I fucking probably just pick like.
What's your problem with Joe Mixon?
Give me a Khalil Shakir around there by Ramondre or something, dude. Give me anybody. Give me Jahan Dotson where I'm taking Ramondre or something.
Man. I just
you got a problem with Mixon again. Me and Ian gonna have to get on and talk your ass into Joe Mixon again this season.
Man, what the hell? Mixon ain't man, Mixon's ass, man. I'm sick of that man. That dude should be out of the league by now. Trash. Motherfucking Texas went and saved his ass. Definitely can't take him over.
I'd take Chuba Hubbard for the first 3 weeks of the season and then have to not play his ass the rest of the year, then draft Ramondre.
Ramondre about the ball. Y'all way too low on that man. I mean,
we'll
Najee over Ramondre? Come on, man. That's absurd.
Man. He ain't going to be playing too long if he keeps fumbling the ball.
Who else? You got Zach Moss over Ramondre?
I would take Zach Moss.
Of course.
Y'all out y'all's mind, man. What's up with y'all? Y'all biased. There's some kind of Patriots bias. Bill did it to y'all, man. Bill really got y'all that bad.
I don't like running backs on like the worst offense in the league. Like they never do anything.
Brees Hall
And
went off.
you got a pass catching back who was a receiver in college. They're obviously gonna put Antonio Gibson in when they're losing by 21 in the fourth quarter. Who do you think is gonna be the
Ramondre
running
catches
back?
the ball.
Who do you think the running back's gonna be in the third and fourth quarter when they're losing by 21? Probably Antonio Gibson.
Why in the hell would I even remotely think Antonio Gibson's getting on the field over Ramondre, even if they're down by 30? That don't even make no sense.
I think Ramondre's talented. This ain't an anti-Ramondre the talent take. This is an anti-Ramondre Patriots.
Well, what I'm saying is, y'all don't think Ramondre's a 3-down back? He caught the ball a lot that year. He had a good year. And now they're just going to be like, nah, we want Gibson, who's pretty much couldn't even make it at Washington for the past couple of years.
He was supposed to be a 3-down back last year. Where did he finish
I
last
think
year?
Ramondre gonna go out there in the first game
hurt.
after he gets hit so many times. He's gonna be like, Jesus, why the fuck did I sign 4 years with these motherfucking scrubs, dude?
Well, go find some points per game, Matt. See where he was at in points per game.
On what, sleeper?
Yeah, some.
You talking about the year he went golf? The year he was doing good
last year. You said he missed some games. I know he's hurt last year. That's why you go to points per game.
He missed the whole season pretty much.
He played 12 games.
But
that's pretty much a whole season, dude.
They was dead last year. Y'all saw that team last year? It was Zappy and all them.
And it got any better this year?
Yeah, they got Drake May.
Oh,
and Brissett.
Man. Come on, man.
Man, y'all crazy, man. What's up with this hate? That's crazy. Y'all putting backups over here.
All right, Ramondre was exactly where I got him ranked this year, and I think the offense is worse. In points per game last year, so the games that he played, he was RB27.
They were trash last year.
Okay. They're gonna be even worse this year. But that's the thing. Like, I don't want the running back from the team that's getting blown out by 20 points every game.
He was in a split.
Who was there last year on the depth chart? It was better. Nobody was better than Antonio Gibson last year. I mean, you can say what you want about Antonio Gibson. He's better than what they had last year.
It feels like I'm in a dream world right now. Antonio Gibson, that's just out of the question. It's not even in the question.
You're gonna
Can't
lose.
even understand it.
You're gonna lose this battle again, bud. You lost last year. You're gonna lose it again.
Oh man. I mean, what did he finish the year before? It was like the RB6.
It doesn't matter where he finished the year before. I'm talking about last year, the most recent year.
It doesn't matter. And then they signed him for a 4-year deal.
Where did Devontae Parker finish in 2013? Oh, I think he was like wide receiver 5. Oh.
Who? I don't even know who that is anymore.
Exactly. You know, we can go back. We can go back as far as we want and pick out one good year from one player.
Man,
and be like, well, he was great that year.
Don't you guys love guys to get the volume, man? This guy's gonna get all the work.
Yeah, for the first quarter.
He's gonna get all the work, but then you guys would rather have guys who would have splits like Najee and Jalen Warren and Zach Moss and Chase Brown. They're splitting. They're sharing a backfield for crying out loud.
And a high-powered offense.
Very high-powered offense.
Steelers?
This is the same argument we. This is the same argument we had.
High-powered offense. They shipped Kenny Pickett out the door. They were so ass.
Well, yeah, because he was ass.
Now they got Russ in there. Man couldn't crack it in Denver. Getting paid $200 million, still couldn't crack it.
I don't buy into the fact that Russ is going to be starting the whole year either. I think Justin Fields going to take over because he's been looking better.
That's a good bet, man. I bet you $100 Najee outscores Ramondre this season.
Najee can put together a season now. Y'all do forget that.
Think about that one. I'll consider.
Najee did finish as like the RB2 one year.
Yeah, his rookie year when Big Ben threw it to him 150 times. That junk ain't happening again.
I don't know.
Who's gonna be catching? He's not even the best running back on his own team. Everybody knows Jalen Warren's got the juice. That man Najee has declined year after year after year after year. We still high on that man? Come on, man. Crazy. What's up with them? He getting that Jerry Jeudy love, that Cam Akers love. Sick of that shit.
As I was talking all that shit about Ramondre, I guess I'm still on Najee's side this year. But in points per game, Najee was the RB32 last season.
Where was Warren at? Jalen Warren's probably higher than Najee.
Jalen Warren, RB30. 11 points per game.
They all ass. That's why I say patch it up. I give you a second for any of those guys. But it's funny, we in doo-doo. Those guys cost a first plus. Don't even make no sense. Well, heck, we can wrap it up now. We done said all we got to say about New England. Even argued about Ramondre a little bit. I ain't even that high on him, man. Fuck him. I mean, shit. Well, I ain't about to get Ramondre.
But for a fantasy take, we talked about the Patriots the longest, and they were the worst team to talk about in the NFL for fantasy purposes. But just to reiterate what we said, Ramondre is the only, depending on what you think about him, he's the only asset on this team. Maybe Jalen Polk.
Yeah, I got some Jalen Polk.
Pop Douglas. I mean, maybe. He'd be on your waiver wire. You might can throw him in on a given week sometimes.
Well, we can wrap it up, man. I'm not going to stand on that Ramondre take. If he goes down to a back 40, it's just Ramondre. He ain't on my teams, damn it. I ain't got him. You know what I mean, Crab Man? I ain't got Najee either. But I do got Jalen Warren.
I wouldn't dare have Ramondre on my team.
Yeah.
Not even close.
What sucks is if he's on your team, he's probably a starter too. Like he's probably like your RB2 or something like that. That's not a good world to live in, right there. Now,
as soon as he has a good game, ship his ass off.
My guy Will Savage has Ramondre as his RB1, and he was a regular season champ last year.
He had Dak and CD too, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Though. It just cracks me up. This man had Ramondre and won the regular season, but I got guys telling me, well, you have to have Bijan. You got to have Breece Hall to compete. And the motherfucker had Ramondre. We shitted on him for 45 minutes. The Joker finished first.
Yeah, he didn't win the championship, though.
He was up there. He won a lot of games, though.
He won some games. I mean, you can have Ramondre as your RB1 if you have like CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill as your receivers. I mean, we can go through this all day.
He ain't got Tyreek. He just got one guy.
But Dak and CD were like last year they were like the stack to have. Whatever, man.
Wrap it up, man. Well, that's the truth, man. They all suck. All that last little group of running backs, they all suck. Every single one of them.
Hey, we got to pick the divisions.
Oh, yeah, pick them. I'm saying Miami, Buffalo, and New York, and then the Patriots. And I'm just putting my money on Miami. I would really bet on Josh Allen. He's the best quarterback in the division, but my money's going on Miami plus 220.
Yeah, me too. And that's not even just the betting lines. I think Miami wins the division, then the Jets, then Buffalo, and I'm gonna put $10 down on the Patriots to win the division so that I can win like $20,000.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I might put $1 on there.
Exactly. Just throw $1, $5. Maybe Drake May is Justin Herbert.
The shit. All right, Chris, who you got?
I'm gonna take Miami. Like he said, I picked them to win the division this year. But then I'm gonna go Bills because of Josh Allen, then Jets, and then Pats.
Yeah. All right. Well, shoot, man. That wraps it up. That was the AFC East. We went on and on about that division. Way too long. It's funny. We didn't even talk about the Dolphins that long. We sitting here talking about the motherfucking Patriots. 5-star review. Craftman, anything you want to say to the folks out there?
I'm just glad we had one of them, down to the wire arguments. We ain't had one of those in a while, and it wasn't where I expected it to be with Ramondre Stevenson. But
my God,
it's always fun. It's always fun to do that. But appreciate everybody for listening. And Chris, you got to be on more, man. You got to get on more.
I know. I got to try. I got to be able to come in here and do it. It's just hard. Work, 2 kids. At least we all agree Drake May sucks. We're all in agreement. No.
I won't agree with that, but I do agree. I do agree that if you can draft him and sell him for more than a first, I do agree with that. You ain't got to let him sit on your taxi for 3 or 4 years.
You ain't got to go trade for him and then change your team name so that it'll look cool.
I was all about to say, we doing this whole episode, and then Chris is sitting there putting out his arguments, and this dude Duncan is banging his head on the wall, just like hating every word Chris is saying.
But he's just like, oh man, dude, he's just in his feelings. So it's just like, bro, me just having an opinion about something is not being in my. I was like, bro, do you really think that I walk around my house with 2 kids running around and screaming and just be like, oh my God, I hate the Patriots. Like, fuck this dude.
Oh, man.
Think that shit crosses my mind. He's the one who brought him up. So I gave my opinion. And since I wasn't sucking this man's dick, Duncan's like, oh, you in your feelings. You in your feelings.
DT said he's ass. Said Drake May's ass. So
We all know who the
agreement
Duke
with
Blow
DT
is
right there.
and Doo-doo. We all know who the Duke Blow is.
well, shit, man. We wrapping it up, man. Wrapping it up. The AFC East, we're done with y'all, man. Just a few more divisions to go. Thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. We out.
Peace.